What is up, and welcome back. That was probably loud, but welcome back. Episode number 25, which means, boy, do we have a show for you. I'm Michael.
And I'm Matt. It's a special episode. We're going to start doing every 25 episodes where we give just a recap of everything we've done in 25 days. And so the next one will be day 50.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on.
We have done a lot. We started this podcast the first day in January 1st.
It was
20.
December 31st, the day before. We didn't wait.
That was true.
We
It
we
was
came up with the idea, and then we were like, execute now.
That's exactly what happened. But we've done a lot of things in these past 26 days ish.
Yeah, we have. We've adjusted our thinking. We've solidified routines. We've The list goes on. We actually have a list.
We got a list. So the first thing we did was we've written on all of our dry erase boards pretty much our plans and have solidified them for the most part. The biggest thing, or the first thing we should talk about is that we started this podcast. So whatever you're listening on, thanks for listening on it. But we had this on YouTube, we had this on Spotify, we had this on Amazon Music and Audible, Apple Podcast, and even iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was just for country music, not gonna lie.
it's for country music and for us.
Good.
So we're everywhere now. So that's also kind of cool because I would have never thought that we could be on all those platforms before we started this. It just doesn't even like register in my brain that we would do something like that.
Yeah.
Or why we would do something like that. But here we are.
Sharing our mistakes with everybody,
Uh,
but also the successes. Let's talk about the app.
oh
It's been a
well,
big
before we even get to the app, we got the next thing that we did. I guess we'll just go in order. The next thing we did was we went to Monday.com
Mm.
and we organized all of our tasks. And you want to talk about that at all?
Sure. Yeah, so we looked at our tasks, and the biggest thing we were thinking, we're like, well, we're not really understanding on the same page like where we're at with projects. We want to be able to communicate effectively, clearly when we're not in the same room, or even up at the same time. So we're looking for project or softwares. I talked about Microsoft Project because I've used that one before, and then we did some research and we found Monday. So Monday is an app. It's or a website. It's a project management software. So it manages your tasks. So it's a good way to see what all we got to do. You can set priorities. You can set timelines. You can set notes. You can attach files.
You can sign people.
Sign people. Yeah, assign people tasks. You can say what the current statuses are, create your own statuses. So it's pretty good software for what we're doing right now. And it's especially useful just for like task prioritization as well. Even just within your own, with even not with the idea of sharing, but just for your idea of visualizing everything that needs to be done. So it's pretty useful.
You know, sometimes you just know that you have so many things you have to do, but you don't know like everything you have to do. You just know you have a bunch. That's a good place to put everything on there to say like, now I can see at least what I have to do.
Or you think you know everything you have to do,
Yeah, then
but
you
you're
just keep on
missing out
adding
on
more things.
tasks.
Yeah, you keep on adding more things to it.
Or you're working on something that's not as much of a priority as something else.
Yep, that happens a lot too. Okay, wireframe. So for the past 25 days, and I mean, the ideal has been spitballed and a lot of drafts have been created, but nothing was like actually working towards moving the needle forward as much as it was this month. Um, there was a website called balsamic.com. So it's a wireframe website, and that's what we used for the low wireframe. And we created, we created 17 pretty much different app pages on there that are all connected. And so it took, I was actually surprised like how much creative energy it takes to like create something like that. Because I'd be sitting there on the computer and I'd be like, this is easy. Like, there's plenty of apps out there. Like, how hard can it be? And then I started like trying to design it. And then I just realized how hard it actually is to articulate what I'm thinking in my head and putting it on a computer. And so that took forever, but we definitely got done with it. 17 low wireframes, and then we found out later on that we needed to do high wireframes, which is the colored version. I thought I was done after low wireframes, but nope. And so
Not only
I'm
colored, more detailed,
more detailed,
more
colored.
precise.
It has to look pretty much exactly like an actual app, is what our uh, our coder has told us to do.
We made a drawing on a napkin, and then the coder was like, "All right, now make a painting."
Yeah, that's yeah, that's pretty much what happens. We were drawing with like sticks in the dirt,
Hmm.
making our app, and she's like, "Make a Mona Lisa."
She's like, "You're trash.
Yeah,
Start over," which is what you need sometimes.
but also the database is being worked on too right now, so that's another part of the so apps. Apps have so many parts to it, so we're just creating the wireframe. But once you make the painting, you still got to make it work, and so that's where the internal components come in. And so the database is being worked on right now
Hmm.
as well. And this is all for version one. So this is the lean version. Like we have this grand idea of what our app wants is supposed to look like, but we're not even doing that yet. We're
Hmm.
just creating just the absolute bare minimum basic to get it out to to a potential coach and the clients to say like we want feedback right now. Even though we know it's going to be so much better, we want feedback right now of how we can improve it. So at least it's like out there. People are starting to use it, they're starting to understand, and then we can improve what they suggest along with our own vision because I think our vision's great. I think it's perfect. But, the market will either agree or disagree with it. If they agree with us,
It's a sign.
it's a sign they agree with us. So once we send it out there and and we ask for feedback from them, then we can, tweak our own designs just a little bit. I think the only big thing we haven't come up with on the list is a name for the app yet.
That's big.
It is
Big
big.
hurdle that we thought was not going to be a hurdle.
Yeah, the name and then like the color scheme, which that can get changed later on, but the name itself was we tried a few and we spent actually a day, almost a full day, going through names, and we'll talk more about the problems with names here in a little bit, but it was a little bit more difficult than we originally thought.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some legal advice figured out what avenues you have to think about when you're coming up with a name.
Yep.
So that was a really solid conversation that altered our trajectory. If we were not to have it, we would have run into issues.
And maybe not even issues right now, but definitely issues later on.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was good. It's probably good solid advice to give anyone that listens to this is make sure your legal ducks are all in a row, or at least know a little bit about that
Hmm.
before you go just crazy trying to sell something.
Yeah, it was what we have like a 2 or 3 hour trademark conversation.
Yeah, there was a lot to it.
Hmm. But I learned a lot, which is good.
Yeah. I guess another big skill that was developed over these past 25, 26, 7 days is I started using Canva. And Canva has blown my mind about how useful that website is. I didn't know anything about Canva really. I knew it was like useful, but I didn't realize how useful it was until I started like eating. As I was eating my like food, I'd like watch tutorials on on different people making like these incredible pieces of artwork on Canva or like animations on Canva. And it just blew my mind. I'm just eating my zucchini noodles or something, and just like watching how amazing like you can manipulate images on
Mhm.
there. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I was playing around with Adobe Illustrator.
Hmm.
That's a lot. It's a lot to be good at, which I'm not that good at it. I can do the basics. I've heard of Adobe, but I never really not Adobe of Canva, but I never really like got into the weeds in it. I just knew how to make like put words on the screen and put a shape near it.
Yeah, there's so
The
much to it.
basics.
There's so much to it that as I figured out. But it's good to diversify in skill sets
Mhm.
too
Yeah.
a little bit.
Also been making my social media contents, trying to keep that consistent. My idea is that it's just a quick. I'm working like a month ahead. So right now I'm about a week ahead, but I want to be a month ahead in content so that it's just kind of in the background. Um, Something that I'm just doing by habit without putting much effort into. So that I keep my mind focused on what I'm working on, which now is separate from the app. We've split focuses, working on bringing the brand back. So if you follow the Instagram, you know that we were doing a brand. It was all in mentality, and we pivoted. We're rebranding it, so it's gonna be something new. Hasn't been released yet, but I'm in the process of making all that work. So there's a lot that goes into that as well. You've got to get all of the blanks, find a manufacturer for the way that we're doing it. Get blank shirts, and then the prints, and you got to make designs, logos, manage marketing, inventory, which we're gonna do make to order so that we can keep changing the designs as we need to, getting feedback like this design ain't it, or we come up with something new, so we're not stuck with inventory. So a lot in the works. I would just say to be on the lookout because good things are coming.
Hmm.
So all of this, I know what you're thinking, or I know what I would be thinking, is that these two things are not the same, and you're right. However, they're in the same market as far as we're selling.
What do you mean they're not the same?
So
Like
they're not the same.
you're
One's an
talking about like
app,
the app?
one's a
Yeah, yeah.
brand. One's an app, one's a brand. They're not the same. They're two separate companies. However, they're in the same market, in the same fitness space, and so that's really what we're trying to stay in right now. Is where we can get to know what people are looking for and understand all the fitness side of it. So it's got a much greater vision down the road that we won't spoil, but that's where we're at right now. Brand, app. So yeah, we're split, but we're in communication on all of it. Just throwing ideas off of each other, making sure that we're aligned with where we're going.
Oh yeah. You got let's you want to do some forecasting for the next 25?
No, because I'm below the forecast. If I forecast, I'm gonna limit myself to what I forecasted. Where I
Mhm.
want to move faster.
Well, what do you know is going to be done 100% by then?
So next 25 days, shirts are gonna be ready. Whether they're they're for sale yet or not, the shirts are gonna be here. Prints are gonna be here. Designs are gonna be solidified, and it's gonna be ready to go.
Yeah,
Uh,
25 days is not that long in the grand scheme of things.
mm,
For me, had the entire version one of the high wireframe done, so everything will be done on that, and hopefully the development phase of the app will be well along the way, if not complete, close to being complete, or at least very you know in the works of having a firm date on it.
Sweet.
Yeah,
We got anything else? I got a lot of fitness stuff I could be talking about, but I'll
yeah. I
leave
mean, I
that for
get
another video.
we can talk about our personal
Stuff that we've done.
personal achievements because it is 25 days. It's, you know, 25 days after New Year's has started. What do you got personal?
So I talked about it, but came up with a 10,000 pound goal, and I've been working towards that. I one rep max for the first time ever as part of that, figuring out what I need to do for that. I researched, created a plan. The whole workout routine is built off of my one rep max, and then that's what all my social media content is built around. So that, and this is just another example of staying within the fitness space where everything is combined. They're all going to work together, and that's how we're going to market it at first. Um, I think that it's not the sole way of marketing it. There's going to be diversified ideas of marketing, but I got a lot of fitness going on so far this month. I put on like 10 pounds. I'd have to look at my graph, but maybe
That
it's like
sounds right.
5.
No, that sounds 10 pounds sounds right.
Well, now I want to look because I put on good weight, and I did an in-body scan, which is like the thing that like shock or sends like electricity through you or something. Um, and I gained 3 pounds of muscle in the past 2 months, which is I think is pretty good.
Mm,
Since January 1st, I've gained 5 pounds.
5 pounds.
So 5 pounds. 10 pounds would be a lot, but
Is that trend weight that you're
yeah,
talking?
yeah, that's trend weight. So like I've peaked at fat higher, but like so 5 pounds is the average, the moving average. Um, so yeah, I'm sitting at 185 or no 187.5. I started off at 182.8.
Yeah, actually, this month is the first month in forever that Michael weighs heavier than me now. It's a big difference.
And it's not going the other way because he's still cutting and I'm
Oh my
still bulking.
goodness. I know how easy it is for me. Like he says, like he's heavier now, but it's like I can do like that.
Do you want to?
No.
Okay.
It took so much effort to get even slightly down.
Yeah. And it's like the opposite for me. It takes a billion times more effort to put on weight. I can lose 10 pounds in 10 days, no problem.
I can gain 10 pounds in like one day.
Yeah.
I can be like, look at that food. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I can wake up tomorrow zero. Not zero, but that'd be pretty bad. But yeah, a lot of progress has been done. I started a consistent, a daily mile. So that was actually today that I started that. So this will be the update for the next 25. But started the daily mile, which is just running a mile every day. Um, Started saunas, put that in my routine. I really got consistent with the warm up, because in the past that's something I've been missing out on. Mostly because I go in, I'm like, I don't have time to warm up, but it's super important, especially for longevity, especially for when you're actually doing these like maxing out type lifts, because that's when you're going to tear something if you're not properly warmed up. And then you're going to be out for a while. And then when I come back to this 10,000 goal, it's going to end up being 3 years instead of 6 months or however long it might take. So I'm aggressively taking on this challenge. I want to avoid getting a coach. Right now, I'm seeing progress, so I don't think I'm going to get a coach. But once it starts plateauing and I'm having trouble, then I'll try to seek advice on what I need to do differently. But right now, I'm moving in the right direction. I'm about 75% towards my goal of 10,000, and life's good.
Yeah. The only thing that really for me was the biggest thing for me was 26 days nicotine free.
Hell yeah, brother.
So yeah, that was honestly, this first 25 days have been pretty miserable. As far as like my life has gone, like we've accomplished a lot, but I've been like miserable accomplishing things. And so hopefully after this next bit, like I think the withdrawals are over now for the most part. This next 25 days is gonna be a lot more happier and not as just miserable. Like I felt like I was having like panic attacks, or I don't know what to call it. I was stress eating. Stayed with keto the whole time. That's
Stress eating zucchini
stress eating zucchini. Yeah, that's
and
exactly what I was
almonds.
doing. Almonds. I followed my coach's plan to the T. everything's perfect except I had almonds. That was my one thing that like kept me going and not like zucchini and almonds. And after I ate as much zucchini as I can, then I went to the almonds. But those are so calorically dense that my I was like probably 500 calories over on average, just because and the meal plan was perfect. I would just eat almonds, and so so
Yeah.
I have a lot more work to do now to try a lot harder to get this bodybuilding show out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, all I gotta do is give up almonds now.
I mean, even on aside from like the fitness side, the mindset shift of just digging in um, has been intense. It's been aggressive in a good way.
Hmm.
Also, just reading and listening to podcasts and smart people um, that have that will have impacts in making us avoid mistakes that they made. Just like we're trying to help you guys do. Uh, Listening to people that have done it or just super smart has been big. So we've shared insights from the books. I've read 2.5 books, working through Think and Grow Rich right now, and you've got a textbook that you're working through.
Jeez, yeah, it's so dry, but I'm getting through it. I'm chugging. I give myself an hour every night now to
That's a
to
lot.
read it. Yeah, I have to get through it. I'm just chugging along at it.
You tried like a audiobook at the same time?
Yeah, so I got Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss I'm listening to right now. It's a great book. I was listening to Misbehaving. Uh, I forgot who was the author of that. It's an economics book.
Hmm.
And then, this influence book, which is awesome. It's brilliant. Like the influence book is brilliant. It's just long and
It's a lot of examples in
repetitive.
the
Yeah, a
book.
lot of examples, but it it makes the point very clear. You just have to hear the point over and over and over, just at a slightly different
Mhm.
angle of it.
Yeah.
But I would say that would be our biggest thing. Our biggest takeaway for the past 25 days is the mindset shift. There we go. Mindset shift. Because I mean, even on weekends now, we just like there is no weekend. We have like a small amount of time that we do things, like fun things, like the gym. And
That's not a small amount of time for
this,
me. I spent a
yeah,
lot of time at the gym.
yeah, our fun is the gym. Actually, well, I do have fun. I go dancing too. So I go dancing 2 times a week now. I joined a team. I'm gonna compete in LA if there is an LA left
Hmm.
to compete at.
Half of it's still there.
Yeah, half of it's still there. So I'm gonna compete in like August, I think, is what I want to try to do. But I might not because this is more important than anything else. That's just to calm my mind because we do work like pretty much if we're awake, we're doing something.
Yeah.
And so
I don't know. I enjoy it. I like to see progress, and having Monday.com is motivating, honestly, to see like
yeah,
you got your you've got your tasks, you know where you're going, you've got priorities set to them, timelines. So I don't know. It's like playing a video game. You wake up and you're like, okay, what's the next task on my list? What's the next quest? I've actually started writing that in my notebook in the mornings. Instead of like priorities, I say main quests.
yeah. I mean I feel very like fulfilled doing this. Like I don't feel like I need to go do something relaxing because it's fun.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the biggest mind shift of them all is just like enjoying the work of it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I feel like I need a break, but that's when I go to the gym, and then it's like, it's
As it,
great.
well, yeah, true. Yesterday my brain was hurting, just like when you like overload and your brain's just like "Oh, I can't." But like even then I was pushing through it and it was pretty good. It
Yeah.
wasn't until like the last hour before I went to sleep that I was like I need to just stop. But I mean I wake up the next day and do it all over again, and I like have fun doing it.
Yeah. So my 3 books, I didn't mention the other two. Show Your Work. Um, who's that by? It's right there. Justin Austin
Austin.
Austin Kleon. Show your work, Austin Cleon, Russ. Get out of your head. Get out of
Mhm.
your way.
Get out of your head.
Get out of your head by Russ, and then Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So still working through that one. It's pretty good so far. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much our 25 days. 25 and 25
It's been a
minutes.
busy 25 days. So hopefully our next 25 days is going to even be better because we just started. Now we're just going to
It will be
expand
better.
exponentially get better.
We have a lot going on, and we have people involved.
We didn't
Um,
even talk about like our networking that we've done.
yeah,
We've done a
met
lot
a
of
lot of
networking,
people.
talked to a lot of different people.
Yeah, it's more than just us right now. There's more steps behind the scenes, but we're working on it. And next 25 days will be just as good, so better.
Yeah.
But thanks
Our-
for tuning in. Tune into episode 50 next,
or
or
26.
26, or go back because you skipped them and went straight to
Yeah, that
25.
would be nice too.
Yeah, and also give us some good ratings or something. I don't know how this
Yeah.
rating system works, but I hear it's good because that's what all the other podcast dudes talk
Yeah,
about.
like and subscribe and then comment your favorite.
Well, that's YouTube, but
Oh, that is true. Well, this is on YouTube as well.
figure out how the rating system works for us and then do that.
Yeah, if you're on
Like for
Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcast, or iHeartRadio, there's like a little follow button.
or a star or
There,
something.
yeah, start like the 5-star one though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Until tomorrow.
Yep.